The Galactic Council's Grand Chamber grew quiet as Admiral Tak stepped forward. His gray skin glistened under the bright lights as he touched the control panel. A three-dimensional map appeared, showing countless stars across the galaxy. Many stars glowed red, worlds already lost. "The situation worsens," Tak said, his four eyes blinking rapidly. "The Void Dominion destroyed the Nulari Defense Fleet yesterday. 17 fleets lost in 90 days. The representatives of 27 advanced species shifted uncomfortably in their seats. High Counselor Mira stood up, her crystalline form catching the light. "Our best weapons fail against the Void's energy-draining powers," she said. "We need new ideas before more worlds fall." From the back of the room, a voice spoke. "I may have found something." All eyes turned to Captain June. He was young for his position, but had earned respect for his discoveries. "My scout ship found an unknown world in the outer regions," he said, stepping forward. "The natives call it Earth. They are not advanced like us, but they have unusual qualities." June activated his own display. Images appeared showing humans in various activities, building cities, creating art, fighting wars. "They call themselves humans," June explained. "They only reached their moon recently, but they learn and adapt faster than any species we know." The Council watched recordings of Earth's history, ancient battles with simple weapons, modern wars with machines, great works of art, and scientific breakthroughs. "They achieved in centuries what took other species thousands of years," said June. "And they show remarkable creativity under pressure." High Counselor Mira studied the images carefully. "Can they help us fight the Void?" "I believe they can," June replied. "They think differently. They survived countless disasters and conflicts on their own world." The Council debated for days. Some feared bringing primitive humans into a galactic war. Others saw no choice with worlds falling daily to the Void. Finally, they voted to make contact with Earth. 3 months later, a Council ship landed in an open area near a city called Geneva. Humans had been prepared through careful messages sent ahead. Still, crowds gathered at safe distances, pointing and taking pictures of the sleek silver craft. Inside a large building, President Day of the United World Council sat with other human leaders. Her hands trembled slightly, but her voice remained steady as the alien delegation entered. Ambassador Suk, chosen to represent the Council, approached slowly. He had studied human customs carefully and extended his hand as humans did in greeting. "We come in peace and great need," Suk said through a translation device. "All life in this galaxy faces extinction." President Dai shook his hand firmly. "Tell us how we can help." The meeting lasted hours. The aliens explained about the Void Dominion, beams of dark energy consuming star systems across the galaxy. They showed recordings of battles lost and worlds destroyed. "Our technology is advanced," Ambassador Suk said, "but the Void adapts to our strategies. We have fought the same way for thousands of years. We need new thinking." Colonel Han, Earth's military representative, studied the battle recordings with growing interest. "Your ships fight in perfect formations," he noted. "Very orderly, very predictable." Ambassador Suk seemed confused. "Is there another way to fight?" Colonel Han smiled. "Many other ways. Humans have unfortunately become experts at warfare through our long history of fighting each other." President Dai stood up. "We will need time to discuss this with all nations. This affects everyone on Earth." "Time is something we have little of," said Ambassador Suk, "but we understand." For 2 weeks, Earth's nations debated. Some feared alien trickery. Others saw opportunity in advanced technology. Most simply feared the Void would come whether Earth helped or not. Finally, Earth agreed to join the Galactic Alliance. The Council provided technology and knowledge, while humans offered new strategies and fresh perspectives. On a clear morning, the first human volunteers prepared to leave Earth. They would train with alien forces and learn to fight the Void. Among them was Captain Min, chosen to lead Earth's first space defense team. As her shuttle rose through the atmosphere, Min looked back at the blue planet below. "We've always wondered if we were alone in the universe," she said to her fellow officers. "Now we know we're not, and the universe needs us." The shuttle docked with a massive Council warship waiting in orbit. Earth's journey to the stars had begun, not for exploration, but for survival. The fate of countless worlds now rested partly in human hands. Colonel Han stood in the command center of the Council battleship Eternal Light. Around him, alien officers worked at control stations. The ship was massive compared to anything humans had built, with technology centuries beyond Earth's best efforts. Yet they kept losing battles against the void. Han watched another simulation play out on the main screen. The Council fleet moved in perfect geometric patterns. Each ship knew its exact place. Every maneuver followed strict rules developed over thousands of years. "Stop," Han said suddenly. General Orn, the six-armed commander of the Council forces, looked at him with surprise. "Is something wrong, Colonel?" Orn asked. "Everything," Han replied. He pointed at the simulation. "Your ships move perfectly. Too perfectly. The void knows exactly what you'll do next." General Orn's face showed confusion. "Our formations represent millennia of tactical refinement. Against normal enemies, maybe," Han said. "But the void adapts. You need unpredictability. Chaos." "Chaos." Orn seemed offended. "Chaos leads to defeat." Han shook his head. "Not always. Let me show you." After days of debate, General Orn reluctantly allowed Han to leave a small force, 5 Council ships and 2 human-crewed vessels, against a minor void incursion near the Terran system. As they approached the void ships, dark shapes that seemed to absorb light around them, Han gave orders that shocked the alien crews. "Break formation," he commanded. "Ships 3 and 4, pretend to retreat. Ships 1 and 2, appear damaged. Human vessels, prepare for rapid approach when I give the signal." The Council officers hesitated before following these strange instructions. The void ships, used to facing orderly opponents, split their attention between the retreating ships and the seemingly damaged ones. They didn't notice the human vessels circling around until too late. "Now," Han ordered. The human ships darted forward, firing random patterns rather than calculated bursts. The retreating Council ships suddenly turned back. The damaged vessels accelerated at full power. The void forces, caught in confusion, tried to adapt but couldn't predict what would happen next. Within an hour, all void ships had been destroyed or driven off. It was the first clear victory against the void in months. Back at Council headquarters, scientist Soman studied recordings of the battle. As a specialist in alien psychology, she was fascinated by the humans. "It's not just their tactics," she explained to her colleagues. "Their brains work differently. When facing danger, they don't just follow training. They create new solutions." Salman showed brain scans of humans and Council species under stress. "See how human neural pathways light up in unusual patterns. They use fear as fuel for creativity." In another part of the base, Engineer Quan worked with alien technicians on new weapons designs. The Council engineers were brilliant but thought linearly. Quan kept suggesting unusual combinations. "What if we combine your energy field technology with Earth's simple electromagnetic principles?" he suggested. "Those systems are not compatible," an alien engineer stated flatly. "They don't have to be perfectly compatible," Quan argued. "They just need to work long enough to confuse void sensors." After many failed attempts, they created a shield that could withstand void energy attacks twice as long as previous designs. It wasn't elegant. The Council engineers called it messy, but it worked. Word spread quickly through Council space. Humans had found ways to fight back against the unstoppable enemy. More human officers were assigned to Council ships. Earth scientists shared ideas with alien researchers. Admiral Jin, recently promoted to coordinate human Council efforts, received a disturbing report. She immediately called an emergency meeting. "The Void has changed its strategy," she announced to the gathered commanders. "They've redirected a massive force away from the Centauri sector." She pointed to the star map. A chill went through the room as everyone saw the new destination. "They're heading toward Earth," Jin said. "They've identified humans as the source of the new resistance." General Orn's expression was grim. "How long until they reach Sol system?" 2 months, maybe less," Jin replied. Colonel Han stood up. "We need to prepare Earth's defenses immediately, and we need more ships." "Earth has limited defensive capabilities," pointed out a council strategist. "Then we'll improvise," Han said firmly. "That's what humans do best." As the meeting ended, Admiral Jin pulled Han aside. "The council is sending everything they can spare, but it won't be enough." Han nodded. "I know, but humans have faced impossible odds before." "Never like this," Jin replied quietly. "True," Han admitted, "but the Void doesn't understand us. They've never faced anything like humans before. That might be our greatest advantage." Across council space, ships changed course for Earth. Scientists worked day and night on new weapons, and on Earth itself, nations that had fought each other for centuries now united against a common threat. The greatest battle in human history was coming. Earth's survival, and perhaps the galaxy's, hung in the balance. 6 months after first contact, humans had spread throughout the Council fleet. No longer just advisors, they now served as officers and specialists on nearly every major warship. Their fresh thinking had changed how the Council fought. Engineer Quan stood in a massive laboratory on the Council Science Station, Enlightenment. Around him, alien scientists watched as he connected Earth metals to Council energy systems in ways they had never considered. "This shouldn't work," muttered one Council engineer, his blue tentacles waving in agitation. Quan smiled. "But it does." He activated the shield prototype. It glowed brightly, absorbing the test energy beams fired at it. "The shield strength is double previous models," reported a technician. "How did you know this combination would succeed?" "I didn't," Quan admitted. "But on Earth, we learned that sometimes you must try what seems impossible." In another part of the station, Professor Hyun addressed a group of Council scholars. They had gathered to understand human behavior better. "Humans have fought each other throughout our history," Hyun explained, showing images of Earth's many wars. "We developed countless strategies to survive ourselves." The aliens watched in shock as the presentation showed how quickly human warfare had evolved, from simple spears to nuclear weapons in just a few thousand years. "Your species spent most of its history trying to destroy itself?" asked one scholar, horrified. "Yes," Hyun said simply. "And in doing so, we learned to adapt faster than any other species. It's not something we're proud of, but it's why we can help against the Void." At Council military academies throughout the galaxy, human instructors taught new battle tactics. Young alien officers learned about ambushes, feints, and psychological warfare for the first time. "Perfect formations make you predictable," explained Captain Tai to his class. "Sometimes, apparent disorder is your greatest strength." The Void continued to lose battles as Council forces adopted human strategies. Ships now moved in seemingly random patterns, weapons fired at unexpected moments. Supply lines shifted constantly. At Central Command, Admiral Jin received an urgent message. The room fell silent as she studied the report. "They've changed course," she announced, her voice tense. "A massive Void fleet has abandoned its attack on the Proxima system." She touched the holographic display, showing the new trajectory. Everyone could see where the red line ended, at a small yellow star. "They're heading directly for Earth," Jin said. "They've identified where we came from." The news reached Earth within hours. Emergency meetings convened as leaders faced the terrifying truth: the most powerful enemy in the galaxy now targeted their planet. President Day addressed a joint session of the United Nations. "We have 6 weeks before they arrive," she said, her voice steady despite her fear. "The Council is sending ships, but not enough to stop the Void fleet. We must prepare our own defenses." Earth mobilized as never before in history. Council technology, combined with human ingenuity, transformed the planet's defenses. Orbital platforms appeared around Earth. Asteroid bases provided outer defense lines. Even civilian ships were fitted with basic weapons. Engineer Quan returned to Earth to oversee the shield installations. Working day and night, teams covered major cities with protective fields. "Will this be enough?" asked a young assistant as they watched the shield dome form over Seoul. "No," Quan answered honestly, "but it will give people time to reach the underground shelters." As the Void Fleet approached the edge of the solar system, Admiral Jin arrived with the Council's defensive force, 300 ships, the largest fleet ever assembled. "We'll hold them at Neptune's orbit," Jin told Earth's military leaders. "Keep your forces in reserve to protect the planet itself." The first attacks came quickly. The massive void ships, black against the stars, pushed forward relentlessly. Council vessels darted around them, using human tactics to confuse and divide the enemy. For 3 days, the battle raged across the outer solar system. The Council fleet fought bravely, but there were too many void ships. Slowly, they pushed toward Earth. A massive energy surge from the Void flagship struck the Moon, collapsing part of its surface. The outer planet's orbits destabilized as Void weapons distorted space itself. Admiral Jin's flagship suffered heavy damage. Emergency shuttles evacuated surviving crew to Earth as the ship broke apart. Jin arrived at Earth Command Center as the remaining Council ships retreated to Earth orbit. President Dad was waiting for her. "We've lost the outer system," Jin reported grimly. "They'll reach Earth in hours." President Day nodded. "Then we make our stand here. All shelters are full. All weapons are ready." Around the planet, humans and Council allies prepared for what might be their final battle. The sky darkened as void ships surrounded Earth. Then, in a terrifying display of power, they attacked all at once. Earth had survived the first wave of attacks, but just barely. The planet's shields, reinforced with Council technology, had held against the Void's initial assault. Major cities still stood, though the countryside between them lay scorched and barren. In the underground command center beneath what was once Washington, D.C., General Min studied the battle reports. The room was crowded with military leaders from Earth and the Council. Their faces showed exhaustion after weeks of desperate defense. "We can't keep fighting like this," Min said, pointing to the holographic display showing void ships surrounding Earth. "Each day we lose ground. Each day they learn more about our defenses." High Commander Ren of the Council forces nodded. "Our remaining ships can hold for perhaps another week. No more." Min took a deep breath and placed both hands on the table. "Then we need to change our approach. We can't just defend. We need to take the fight to them." The room erupted in protest. Council strategists spoke over one another. "Attack the Void at its source. Impossible. Our forces are already stretched too thin. We barely survive each day." Min waited for silence before speaking again. "Not a direct assault. Small, fast teams hitting critical targets and retreating. Strike where they don't expect us." In the corner of the room, Physicist Un had been listening quietly. She stepped forward, her simple lab coat standing out among the military uniforms. "I may have found something important," she said, her voice soft but clear. "The void entities aren't natural to our universe." She activated her own display, showing complex energy readings. "These beings enter through what I call dimensional anchors, specific points in space that connect to their home dimension. They need these gateways to maintain their power." The room fell silent as everyone processed this information. "Are you saying we could cut off their connection?" asked Admiral Jin. Ian nodded. "Theoretically, my team has been working with Council scientists to develop a device that could collapse these anchors." "Where is this main gateway?" General Min asked. Ian pulled up a star map. "Here, in what you call the Cygnus sector. It's heavily defended, of course." "A direct assault would be suicide," said Commander Ren. "Then we don't launch a direct assault," Min replied. "We send a small, fast ship while our main forces create a distraction. The plan took shape over the next few days. Council and Earth forces would launch what appeared to be a major attack on void positions near Jupiter. Meanwhile, a single ship would carry UN's device to the dimensional gateway. The chosen vessel was the Defiance, a hybrid craft combining Earth's best stealth technology with Council engines. Its captain would be Suk, a veteran of the first battles against the Void. The mission parameters are clear. Admiral Jin told Captain Suk during the final briefing. Get close enough to deploy the device, then get out before it activates. Suk studied the schematics. How long after deployment until it takes effect? Physicist 1 looked down. Approximately 45 seconds. And the blast radius? At least 300,000 kilometers. The room grew quiet. Everyone understood what that meant. The Defiance could never escape in time. We'll need volunteers, Admiral Jin said finally. Every human in the room stood up. After a moment, many council members stood as well. 3 days later, the Defiance prepared for departure. Its crew of 8 humans and 4 council allies made final checks. Captain Suk moved through the ship, speaking with each crew member. Lieutenant Yoon, the youngest human aboard, was calibrating the navigation systems. Are you afraid? Suk asked quietly. Yoon looked up. Yes, but I volunteered anyway. Why? Because someone has to do it, Yoon replied simply. And I'd rather it be me than someone with children waiting at home. The battle began exactly as planned. Earth and Council forces launched a massive attack near Jupiter, drawing void ships away from their defensive positions. The Defiance slipped away, using the chaos as cover. For 3 tense days, the small ship navigated through enemy territory. They had several close calls, hiding in asteroid fields and gas clouds as void patrols passed nearby. Finally, they reached the coordinates of the gateway. Before them swirled a massive dark vortex, pulsing with strange energies. Dimensional anchor confirmed, reported Science Officer Ta. It's even larger than we expected. Captain Suk took in the scene. Dozens of void ships guarded the gateway. Launch the decoys, Suk ordered. Small drones shot out from the Defiance, creating multiple fake signatures. As the void ships scattered to investigate, the Defiance made its move. Full power to engines. Suk commanded, get us as close as possible. The ship raced toward the swirling darkness, weapons firing to clear a path. Void energy blasts rocked the Defiance, damaging its systems. We're hit, called out the weapons officer. Shield down to 30%. Keep going, Suk said calmly. Almost there. The gateway loomed before them, its dark energies reaching out like hungry fingers. Prepare the device, Suk ordered. We only get one chance. The Defiance shuddered as another void energy blast struck its hull. Warning lights flashed across the bridge. The small ship pushed forward, engines straining as it approached the massive dark vortex. Dimensional collapse device ready, Lieutenant Yoon reported, fingers flying across the control panel. We need to get within 10,000 kilometers of the center. Captain Suk nodded, keeping her expression calm despite the chaos around them. All power to forward shields. Ignore the damage to the rear sections. The view screen showed void ships closing in from all directions. They had realized the Defiance's true purpose. 5,000 kilometers to target, called the navigation officer. Multiple enemies converging on our position. Launch the device, Suk ordered as the ship rocked from another hit. A small probe shot from the Defiance, speeding toward the heart of the swirling gateway. Void ships tried to intercept it but missed. Device successfully deployed, Yoon announced. Activation sequence initiated. Turn us around, Suk commanded. Maximum speed. Everyone on the bridge knew the truth. Even at top speed, they couldn't escape the blast radius in time. Still, they had to try. Dimensional collapse in 30 seconds, reported Yoon as the ship shuddered under void attacks. The engine room reported critical damage. Power levels dropped. The Defiance slowed. 20 seconds, Yoon continued. voice steady despite everything. Captain Sook looked at her crew, humans and aliens working side by side in their final moments. It has been my honor to serve with all of you. 10 seconds. Sook touched a small photo on her console. Her family back on Earth. For Earth and all life, she whispered. 5 seconds. The view screen showed the gateway beginning to destabilize, dark energies swirling violently. 3, 2, 1. A blinding flash filled all sensors. The Defiance and everything near the gateway disappeared in an explosion that rippled across space-time. Across the galaxy, the effect was immediate. Void ships suddenly lost power. The dark energy beings, cut off from their home dimension, dissipated or fled. The invasion that had seemed unstoppable collapsed in a single moment. In Earth's command center, the monitors showed void ships around the planet going dark. "They're retreating," Admiral Jin said in disbelief. "All of them." General Min stared at the screen showing the sickness sector. Where the gateway had been, there was now only empty space. The Defiance's signal was gone. "They succeeded," Min said quietly. "At what cost?" The war ended as suddenly as it had begun. After years of losses, the Council and Earth had achieved victory. But celebrations were tempered by grief for those lost, especially the crew of the Defiance. 1 year later, the rebuilt Council chamber hosted a historic gathering. Representatives from all Council worlds attended, but the focus was on the new member taking her place among them. Ambassador Min stepped forward as High Counselor Terran officially welcomed Earth to the leadership circle. "For thousands of years, this council has guided the galaxy," Terran announced. "Today, we recognize that defeat was certain until humanity intervened. Earth has earned not just membership, but a leading role in our future." The galaxy transformed in the years that followed. Council species began studying human art, philosophy, and innovation. Military tactics incorporated human unpredictability. Scientific progress accelerated as human creativity combined with alien knowledge. On Earth, cities rebuilt with new technology. The skies filled with ships from distant worlds. Children studied alien languages alongside Earth's own. Humanity had taken its place among the stars far sooner than anyone could have imagined. At a memorial built on what was once the Sea of Tranquility on the Moon, now reshaped by the Void attack, Ambassador Min stood with representatives from dozens of worlds. Before them stood a simple monument listing the names of the Defiance crew. "We faced extinction together and survived together," Min said to the gathered crowd. The crew of the Defiance represented the best of all our worlds: courage, sacrifice, and hope. She placed her hand on the smooth stone. "We honor them by building the future they died to protect. Not as humans and aliens, but as a united galaxy." Far beyond the edge of known space, in the darkness between dimensions, the remnants of the Void slowly regrouped. But the universe they would face if they ever returned would be very different, prepared, united, and led by the species that had done the impossible. On a small colony world, a child looked up at her teacher. "Will the Void ever come back?" she asked. The teacher looked at his class. Children from Earth sitting beside young ones from a dozen alien worlds. "Perhaps," he answered honestly. "But if they do, they'll find us ready. Together, there's nothing we cannot overcome." As night fell across the galaxy, ships patrolled the borders of known space. Many carried human captains using strategies no one had imagined before Earth joined the Council. The stars shone brightly on a civilization forever changed by humanity's arrival on the cosmic stage.